Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this really gorgeous diamond stitch. This is such a beautiful stitch. I just can't get over how pretty this stitch is. It's got this beautiful texture, it's got this diamond shape, it's beautiful both at the front side as well as the back side. This stitch can be used for afghans, shawls, scarves, blankets, really pretty much any project that you're working on. It's totally up to you, it's your choice, and the stitch is so easy to make. It's really simple, although it looks so intricate, but it's really simple. All we're going to do is work one row of cluster stitches and one row of shell stitches. That's it, and the pattern is repetitive as well, so it's good for beginners and it's really easy. So if you would like to learn how I made this diamond stitch, then please keep watching. In this tutorial, I'll be using a 4mm size crochet hook and the yarn corresponding to the size of my hook. You may use whichever crochet hook size is available to you. Just make sure that the yarn you use corresponds to your hook size. Okay, so to begin, first you need to make your slip knot. Okay, so you may make your slip knot whichever way you prefer. If you would like to learn how I made the slip knot, then I will leave links in the description box below and also on the right top corner here to my previous video tutorial where I teach you how to hold your yarn and how to make a simple slip knot. Okay, so you may review them and then come back to this video if you need to. So once you've made your slip knot, now we're ready to make our foundation chain for this project. So for the diamond stitch, you need to make a foundation chain in the multiple of 4. Okay, so you can make your foundation chain however long or however short you would like, depending on the type of project you're using it for. Just make sure that the foundation chain is in the multiple of 4. Okay, so to make a foundation chain, all you need to do is make sure your crochet hook side, okay, is facing up. It's facing you like so. All right, and you go below your yarn like this, grab your yarn, grab your hook down and pull it through. All right, like so. So that is chain 1 right there. Okay, so you're just going to repeat that. You're going to go below your yarn, grab your yarn, pull it down and pull it through. That is chain 2, chain 3, chain 4. Okay, so you're just going to continue till you get the length that you desire. So for this tutorial, I'll just be making a foundation chain of 16. Okay, just for the sake of the tutorial, but you can go ahead and make your foundation chain however long or short you would like. That will be the width of your project. Okay, just make sure that it is a multiple of 4. Okay, so here I've made my foundation chain of 16 for the sake of the tutorial. Okay, so once you've made your length that you desire and you've made sure that it is a multiple of 4, okay, now we can continue. All right, so just make sure that it is a multiple of 4, and we'll be working the project in this direction. So we'll be working on these rows like this upwards. Okay, so this is going to be the width of your project. All right, so just make sure that it is a multiple of 4. Okay, so once you've done that, now after you've made your multiple of 4, just continue and add 6 more chains. Okay, just add 6 more chains to the foundation chain. Okay, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, this 6 chains is going to act as our turning points on each side. Okay, so don't worry about that. Just make sure that your initial foundation chain length is a multiple of 4, and then you just add 6. All right, so now we are done with our chaining, and now we'll start with row 1. So in row 1, we'll be working 4 double crochet cluster stitches. If you're not quite sure what a cluster stitch is, then I will leave links in the description box below, and I'll also leave links here on the right top corner leading you to my previous video tutorial where I teach you how to make the cluster stitch. Okay, So we'll be working row 1 in cluster stitches. So the cluster stitch we are going to be doing for this project is your 4 double crochet cluster. Now when I say double crochet, this is the US term. So in the UK, this will be your treble crochet stitch. Alright, so we'll be working 4 double crochet cluster stitches. Now we'll be working our first cluster stitch into the 6th chain from the hook. So to count from your hook, when you're counting your chains from your hook, make sure that you're counting from below the hook, okay? So you're not going to count this loop on your hook. You're going to start counting from this one here, from the first one below, okay? So this will be your first chain. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we are going to start from this chain space right here, okay? So we are going to work our first cluster stitch into this first space right here. All right, so to do your cluster stitch, you're going to yarn over like so, okay, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook. You're going to insert your hook into that chain space like so, grab your yarn, pull it through, okay, making 3 loops on your hook. You're gonna grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops, okay, like so. And now making 2 loops on our hook. Now since we're doing a cluster stitch, it's going to be incomplete stitches, okay? So we're going to stop right here. Usually we would yarn over and pull through these 2 loops to complete our double crochet stitch, right? But because you're working cluster stitches, we are going to stop here. We are not going to yarn over and pull through these 2 loops just yet, okay? So we are going to stop right here. So we have 1 incomplete double crochet and 2 loops on our hook. All right, now we are going to yarn over again, okay, making 1 twist of yarn on our hook like so, and then we are going to be working into the next chain space, okay? So if you see carefully, this is the chain space that you worked into right now. This is your incomplete double crochet. This is your chain space you worked into, right? So we'll be working into the next one right here, okay? So once you've yarned over, insert your hook into the next chain space like so, grab your yarn, pull through, making 4 loops on our hook. You're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops like so, okay, and you're going to stop again right here. So we made 3 loops on our hook, 1, 2 and 3, and 2 incomplete double crochet stitches. All right, you're going to do this twice more, okay, to get our 4 double crochet cluster. All right, so you're going to yarn over again, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook. And now again you're going to be working into the next chain space. So this is the one we worked into last, so we're going to work into the next one, this one right here. So you're just going to insert your hook there, okay, like so, grab your yarn, pull through, have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops, and you're going to stop right there. You have 4 loops on your hook and 3 incomplete double crochet. We're going to do it once more, yarn over, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook, go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through. You have 6 loops on our hook. All right, you're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops like so. And now we have 4 incomplete double crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we have 5 loops on our hook. Okay, so now we are ready to complete our cluster stitch. All right, so you're going to yarn over like so. Make sure that your hook is facing down like so, okay? Make sure you're giving good tension here. Don't pull your yarn too tightly. Just make sure you're giving good tension so that your yarn doesn't unravel. And then you're just going to pull through all the 5 loops, okay? So you're going to pull through all the 5 loops to complete your cluster stitch. So this right here is your first 4 double crochet cluster. All right, so that's it. And now you're going to chain 3. So you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we made chain 3, and then we are going to start again with our 4 double crochet cluster into the next chain space. We are not skipping any chain spaces. We are just going to work into the next one right here. So if you see carefully, this is the last incomplete double crochet we worked. right? So this was the chain space we worked it into. Now we are just going to work into this chain space just next to it. Okay, so the next 4 double crochet cluster will be right next to the previous one. We are not skipping any chains. Okay, all we did was chain 3 in between. Okay, so you're going to yarn over like so, insert our hook into the next chain space, grab our yarn, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. Grab our yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, making 2 loops on our hook and 1 incomplete double crochet. You're going to yarn over again, work into the next chain space, so this one right here. Okay, we're going to grab our yarn, pull through, 4 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now again we have 2 incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on our hook. Stop right there and do another 2 more. So you're going to yarn over, go into the next chain space like so, grab your yarn, pull through, 5 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, making 3 incomplete double crochet stitches and 4 loops on our hook. We are going to do this once more to complete our 4 double crochet cluster. So you're going to yarn over again, go into the next chain space, so this one right here. Okay, grab your yarn, pull through, making 6 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. So here we have 5 loops in total, so 1 2 3 4 5, right? And we have our 4 incomplete double crochet stitches, 1 2 3 and 4. So now we are ready to complete our cluster stitch. So for that you just yarn over. Okay, make sure your crochet hook side is facing down, your hook side is facing down. Make sure you're giving good tension on your yarn here and just pull through all your 5 loops to complete our cluster stitch. So there you have your next cluster stitch ready. Okay, so this is your next 4 double crochet cluster. So again you're just going to chain 3, so yarn over, pull through, 1 2 and 3. Okay, and then you're just going to continue this all the way till the end. So you're going to make another 4 double crochet cluster. So you're just working 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 4 double crochet cluster, all the way till the end. Okay, so I'll just show it to you once more. So you're going to yarn over like this, work into the next chain space. So as I said, we are not skipping any chain spaces. Okay, we're just yarning over and then going into right into the next chain space. So this was the last one we worked into, so we're going to work into this one right here. Okay, so insert your hook there and start your cluster stitch. Okay, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2, making 1 incomplete double crochet, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over again, go into the next chain space. Okay, like so, grab your yarn, pull through, 4 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2. So now 3 loops on our hook, 2 incomplete double crochet. You again yarn over, go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, and stop right there. So we have 4 loops on our hook and 3 incomplete double crochet. Do it once more. So yarn over, go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, so now when we see, we have 5 loops on total. We have 1 2 3 4 5 loops, right? And we have 4 incomplete double crochet stitches. So now we're ready to complete our cluster stitch. So you're going to yarn over, make sure your crochet hook side of your hook is facing down, give good tension on your yarn here, and then just pull through all 5 loops to complete your cluster stitch. So that right there is your next cluster. Okay, so this is how your project is looking so far, right? So you have your cluster stitch, chain 3, cluster stitch, and again you do chain 3. Okay, 1 2 3. So just continue that till the end and I'll meet you right here. So all you're doing is 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, all the way till the end. So here we reached the end of our foundation chain. Okay, so I worked my last 4 double crochet cluster stitch. Okay, and then if you've done your count right, your foundation chain count with the multiple of 4 as I said, then you'll find that you'll have one additional chain left. Okay, so after your cluster stitch you'll have one additional chain space left. So that's all right, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so once you've done with your last cluster, you're just going to chain 2. Okay, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, make 2 chains. All right, and then you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch into that last chain space. Okay, just 1 double crochet. So when I say double crochet, again this is the US term, and in the UK that will be your treble crochet stitch. Okay, so you're just going to yarn over, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook like so, go into that last chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, making 3 loops on a hook. You're going to grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on a hook, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So 1 double crochet stitch into that last chain space. Okay, so this is how your row 1 should look like with your cluster stitches. So now we're ready to start with row 2. Okay, so for row 2, the first thing you need to do is chain 3. So just make a chain of 3. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this chain 3 is going to act as 1 double crochet for the turning ends. Okay, so for your sides of your project. Okay, so once you've made your chain 3, just turn your project like so, and we can start with our row 2. Okay, so in row 2 we'll be working shell stitches basically. So that means we are going to be working complete stitches in row 2. So we'll be working 4 double crochet shell stitches, complete stitches on the top, onto the top of these cluster stitches here. Okay, so that we get that shape. Okay, so we chained 3, right? So after we chain 3, we are just going to be working 4 double crochets. So 4 complete double crochet stitches into the top of this cluster stitch here. So all you need to do is identify the top of your cluster. So it's actually very easy to identify. If you see properly, if you just see, you can see that tiny space there. Right, that's it, that is the top of your cluster. So if you see your cluster stitch, all your double crochets are coming out from that circle, from that small space. Right, you can see all your double crochets from your cluster stitch coming out from that one tiny space on top. Okay, so for this one, if you see, it's this one right here, this tiny space here. So that is the top of your cluster stitches. So all you're going to be working is 4 double crochet, 4 complete double crochet into that space. So after you chain 3, you yarn over like so, making 1 twist of yarn like this, go into that top of the cluster. Okay, so from the top, this is how it looks like. Okay, you're going to grab your yarn, pull through, making 3 loops on your hook. Okay, you're going to grab your yarn again, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on a hook. I said complete stitches in this row, so complete your double crochet. So you're going to yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops as well. Okay, so you completed 1 double crochet into the top of that cluster stitch. So you're going to do 3 more of that. So again, yarn over, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook, go into that same space, into the top of the cluster. So we'll be working all the 4 double crochets into the top of that one stitch. That's why this is called a shell stitch. Okay, because we're working into one chain space, one stitch space. Okay, so again, yarn over, go into that top of the cluster like so, grab your yarn, pull through, making 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, making 2 loops on our hook, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So we completed the next double crochet. We're going to do that twice more into the same space, into that same top of the clusters. Okay, so yarn over, go into the top of that cluster, grab your yarn, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. Now we have 3 double crochets, one more into that same space. Just do one more double crochet. Okay, so we made 4 double crochet stitches, complete double crochet stitches on top of that one cluster stitch into the center of that cluster stitch. Okay, that's it. There's no chaining or anything in between. You directly go into the next top of the cluster. So again, you identify your cluster stitch. Okay, you identify the stitch space you're going to be working. So this one right here, right on top of your cluster. So this one right here, you can see all your double crochets from your cluster coming out from that stitch space. Okay, this one right here, we're going to work again 4 complete double crochet stitches. Okay, so there's no chaining in between. After you finish your last double crochet here, you're going to yarn over and go straight into that next cluster, top of the cluster. Grab your yarn, pull through 3 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. Okay, so if you notice, it's all complete stitches. So here you have 1 double crochet, you do another 3. Okay, into that same top of the cluster stitch, 2 double crochet, go into that same space and work 2 more double crochets. So a total of 4 double crochets on top of that cluster stitch. That's it. This is row 2. Pretty simple, right? So all you're doing is working 4 double crochets on top of each cluster stitches all the way till the end. Okay, there's no chaining in between. You just finish this double crochet, yarn over and go into the next chain space. Just make sure that you're working into the top of your cluster stitches. It's pretty easy to identify. They open up by itself because you worked 4 stitches in your cluster stitch here, right? You'll see all your stitches are coming out. So once you identify the top of the cluster stitches, then row 2 is pretty simple. All you're doing is 4 double crochets into each of the top of the cluster stitches. Okay, so we worked this one, we're just going to work into the next one as well. So yarn over, go into the top of that cluster stitch, grab your yarn, pull through 3 loops on a hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2. So complete double crochets in row 2, 4 double crochets into the top of the cluster stitches. That's all you're doing till the end. Okay, so we have 1 2 3, one more, all into the top of that cluster stitch. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. So we're working 4 double crochets on top of that cluster stitch all the way till the end. So just work your way till the end and I'll meet you. So here I worked till the end of my row 2. So I finished my 4 double crochet sets, okay, on top of all the cluster stitches from the previous row. So this is how your stitches will look like. Okay, and then once you finished the last set, all you need to do to finish this row 2 is to do 1 double crochet into the last chain space here. Okay, so you're just gonna grab your yarn, you're gonna yarn over like so, insert your hook into the last chain space, grab your yarn, pull through. We have 3 loops on the hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on our hook, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So that finishes our row 2. So we just did 1 double crochet at the end. Okay, so now we'll continue with row 3. So row 3 is very similar to our first row. So it's going to be again cluster stitches all the way till the end. The only difference will be at the beginning, where now we'll chain only 5. Remember, the first time we chained, after our foundation chain, we chained 6, right? So that was only for the first row. So from now on, when we repeat this row, it's going to be chain 5. Okay, so you're always going to chain 5 and turn. So just chain 5, 2 3 4 and 5, Okay, so for your row 3, and you just turn, and again you're going to work the same thing we did in row 1. We're going to work 4 double crochet cluster stitches all the way till the end. Okay, so this chain 5 that we did, the first 3 chains are going to act as your 1 double crochet at the sides. Okay, and then the 2 chains are going to act as the space in between. So now we'll have to work our cluster stitches. So it's pretty easy from now on, because if you see very carefully, this is your 4 double crochets from your previous row, right? So you're going to work into the top of these double crochet stitches. That's it. So you're going to work 1 here, 2, 3 and 4. So you're going to work your cluster stitches right above this shell stitch here. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by all of that. So once you've made your 5 chain of 5, you're just going to yarn over, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook, and you're going to work right above this, right into this chain space. So that will be the top of the first double crochet in this set of 4 double crochets from your shell. Okay, just on top of that, so this one right here. So you're going to insert your hook there, grab your yarn, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. Okay, you're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, and again we are doing cluster stitches, so incomplete stitches, right? So we're going to stop right there, and we are not going to complete this double crochet. Okay, we're going to stop there and continue with our cluster stitch. So you're going to yarn over, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook like so, and now we're going to work into the next chain space. So the next space right here. Okay, this is the one we just worked into, so we're going to work into this one here. So after you yarn over, you're going to insert your hook right into the next chain space like so, grab your yarn, pull through. Okay, then you're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first 2 loops. So now we've made 3 loops on our hook, and we've made 2 double crochets, 2 incomplete double crochet stitches. So as you can see, they're working right above the shell stitch spaces here, right? So that's how you know you're doing it right. Okay, so you're going to yarn over again and continue with the cluster stitch. So you're going to yarn over, go into the next chain space, so this one right here, that will be again just the top of the previous the 3rd double crochet, right? Yeah, so you're going to insert your hook right there and do another incomplete double crochet. Okay, like so. So now we have 3 incomplete double crochet and 4 loops on our hook, right? We're going to do 1 more. So yarn over, go into the top of the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. So now we've completed our first cluster stitch here, right? So we have 4 incomplete double crochet, work just above the 4 double crochets from the previous row, 5 loops on our hook. Now we can complete our first cluster stitch. So yarn over, make sure your hook is facing down, give good tension on your yarn here, and then just pull through all 5 loops like so. So that is your first cluster stitch in row 3. Okay, so that's it. So this is how you're going to go all the way till the end. So again, you're going to chain 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and then you're going to work again 4 double crochet cluster into the next 4 chain spaces. So again, you're not going to skip any chains, you're just going to continue into the next 4 chain spaces. So if you're not quite sure if you're doing it right, all you need to do is check along with the double crochets from the previous row, and it should line up exactly above the double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so see how this one is working. So this is how you get the shape of your diamond. Okay, so I'll just show it to you once again. So you yarn over like so, making 1 twist of yarn like this. You're going to go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, 3 loops on our hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, you're going to stop right here because we are doing cluster stitches. So again, in this entire row we are doing cluster stitches. Okay, going to again yarn over, go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, and we've done 2 incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on our hook. Again, yarn over, go into the next chain space, grab your yarn, pull through. Okay, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, so that gives us again 3 incomplete double crochet, 4 loops on our hook, right? And once more, yarn over, just get some more yarn. Okay, yarn over, go into the next chain space right here, right? Grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, so now see, we have our 4 incomplete double crochet stitches right above the double crochet stitches from the previous row, 5 loops on our hook. Right, now we are ready to complete our cluster, so you're going to grab your yarn and pull through all the 5 loops. Okay, so that finishes our next cluster stitch, and this is how your stitches will look like. Okay, and then again we just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then continue to the next. So this is all you're going to do. You're just going to repeat this all the way till the end. So you do your 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 4 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 4 double crochet cluster, and I'll meet you at the end. Here we worked till the end of our row 3. Okay, so I just worked my last 4 double crochet cluster stitch and I've reached the end. So you'll see that you have one more chain space right here. Okay, so once you've done with your last 4 double crochet cluster, all you need to do is chain 2. Okay, chain 2 and do 1 double crochet at the end at this last chain space. Okay, so you yarn over, go into that last chain space, grab your yarn, pull through 3 loops on our hook. You're going to grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So we did 1 double crochet right there. So that completes our row 3. Okay, now we're going to continue with row 4. So all you're going to do is chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, and you're going to turn your project. So basically row 4 is the same as your row 2. So how you worked your row 2, you worked 4 double crochet shell stitch, so 4 complete double crochets into the top of each cluster stitch from the previous row, right? So all you need to do in this row is basically identify that top of the cluster. So it's very easy to identify. All you need to do is locate your cluster and see the point where all the stitches are coming out from. So that's this tiny space right here. I hope you can see. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, so you're just going to be working on top of into this space on top of the clusters. Okay, that's all you're going to be doing. So after you chain 3, you're going to work 4 double crochets into this same chain space, into this stitch space, so to say. Okay, so after your chain 3, you're going to yarn over like so, making 1 twist of yarn on your hook, go into that top of the cluster, grab your yarn, pull through 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. This is a complete double crochet stitch, right? So you're going to do complete stitches in this row again. So it's basically the same as you did your row 2. It's the same thing that you're going to be doing. Okay, so we did 1 double crochet. You're going to do 3 more into that same top of the cluster stitch. 2, 3 and 4. So we worked 4 double crochets in the top of that cluster stitch right there. Okay, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 complete double crochet stitches. Once you're done with that, you're going to continue into the next top of the cluster. So this is our next cluster here. So just find the top of that cluster. So this space right here, you're just going to work 4 complete double crochet stitches all into that space. Okay, so after your this double crochet, just yarn over, go into that space, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, grab your yarn, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's it. That's how you're going to work all the way till the end. You're going to do 4 double crochet, 4 complete double crochet. So that's your 4 double crochets into the top of each cluster all the way till the end. Okay, okay, so I worked another 4 double crochets and again I'm just going to go straight into the next top of the cluster. So this is our cluster from the previous row. Find the top of the cluster, so this one right here. You're just going to go straight into that space and do 4 complete double crochet stitches all into that space. That is your row 4. Okay, pretty simple, right? So it's the same as your row 2. You're just going to repeat that. Okay, so 3, okay, and 4. All right, so just work that till the end. So once you've reached the end of row 4, so you finished your 4 double crochet, okay, your last set of 4 double crochets. Now all you need to do is work 1 double crochet into the last chain space here. Okay, so you're just going to work 1 double crochet. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, go into the last chain space, grab your yarn, pull through, making 3 loops on our hook. You're going to grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So that finishes our row 4. Okay, so now for this is your diamond stitch basically. Okay, this is how your diamond stitch is forming, this one right here, as you can see. Okay, so this will just go on repeating. So all you need to do is continue this row 3 and row 4 again and again till you reach the length that you desire. Okay, so I hope this stitch was fun to do, and I hope this tutorial was easy to follow as well. Please leave your comments and suggestions in the comment box section below, and I would love to hear from you guys. If you like this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more fun stitches and for more tutorials on how to crochet. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.